Hey, and we're broadcasting. So, hey, this is Aaron Garson with Role Playing Public Radio, and this is another Patreon game. We are playing Eclipse Phase today under the title The Binary Heart. We have two players with us today, Daniel and Jonathan. So, starting with Daniel, can you go ahead and introduce your characters?
Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm playing Hop, the Barsoomian freelance journalist.
All right.
Pre-gen.
All right. And what do you say in your story is what originally brought you into Firewall?
Well, that's actually a good question. Sorry. Should have spent more time thinking about that.
Was it something at least a news story that you were investigating into more Titan-based issues or problems that would it's like made you more concerned? Was there contact that you were taking out that you were trying to get justice for? Or...
He was looking into something that was on the Firewall's radar as well.
Okay.
And they kind of intersected.
Alrighty. So that just kind of threw you into the investigation, and I guess they decided that you were enough of an asset to be able to do further investigation. So, which would probably work out great. All right. So, good on there. And Jonathan, who are you playing?
I am playing Ken, who is an octomorph, pretty much exclusively octomorphs, and he got picked up by Firewall when he was scavenging a derelict space station. He got left by the rest of his team when things went bad, and he had enough sense not to open the box.
Okay, so just kind of pulled up in the group after he was told that this would probably be a headhunter or something worse going through. So, and are you an original uplift, or is this your current just a current morph?
Oh no, he's an original uplift. I don't know where we're at in the timeline for if he would have been personally uplifted or if he's the children of uplifts.
Okay, so what would your choice be? So this is
child of. I'll go for child of uplifts. So.
Child of uplifts. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that'll work. So interesting. So if nothing else, that joining Firewall will probably help you further that cause a little bit, at least within the inner ranks, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, for most of those, for your information and your characters, sounds like you've been kind of just the general working on there. I was actually going to ask you, Hop, are you working with the hypercores for yours, or what is your main job as your journalist?
He's listed as a freelance journalist here. He's kind of a screw the power type in the looks of it.
Okay.
The background.
Alrighty. So, all right. Well,
he's anti-censorship. One of motivations is against censorship and pro-martial liberation.
All right. So, so something else probably not fully on the side of the hypercores, if you're wanting to be able to have more free Mars going through. But yes, so it is currently right now, I would say 5 to 6 months since your last activation from your other missions. You've been allowed to do your own investigations or just your normal covers outside of the general work with Firewall. But once you, it's a little odd when you receive a message from a proxy asking you to meet at a local club, going in for some reconnaissance work. So you're not uncertain what's going through. But once you both meet up with each other, the proxy, who is in a silk morph to keep her cover, informs you of the mission briefing of the basis. Let's pull the information up from that. So what she tells you is that a former proxy, only known as Starcadian, whom they believed they had contained and rounded up the last of his egos, apparently had one very last one that was hard to detect because he was going more or less on silent running, not connecting to his any other contacts or information, while traveling along a fairly infamous scum swarm, excuse me, known as the Stars Our Destination. So The only reason that they managed to track him down is that some of the transfer manifests on the swarm basically referred to a scummer who was only referring to themselves as a Pompeii pirate. This is a known alias for Scarcadian, and they believe that he may have had other intentions for potentially escaping into Venus or further inward into the system for unknown reasons, possibly even trying to make a drop off of Earth if they could get that close. Uh, but the information states that he ended up getting off near Venus, but not quite on it, near one of Terrigenesis's Pandora gates near the Venus, the Vulcanoid gate. This one is particularly baseline controlled because the planetary consortium does not have any resources that they are taking into jobs that will the planetary consortium will not usually go over, and at the same time, uh, it is very well known for traversing some areas or new exoplanets that are off. So, your mission was briefing was to go ahead, chart a chart over to the planet over to Terra Genesis, see if you could get onto one of the great crashing teams, which credentials were being provided for you, and going ahead and seeing if you can track down where his Starcadian's potential location is, because if he is trying to go through this at and find either resources for his own means, since he's a notorious information broker, that could be bad. He still has firewall secrets, and on top of that, although your contact does not give you any further information, he is considered a potential X threat for reasons unknown to you. So, if you were to find him, orders are to eliminate on sight. His stack is not to be recovered; it is to be destroyed with extreme prejudice. So, we will get. So, with the information, I'll say that you're still in the club at the moment. Do you either of you have any questions for your proxy contact?
So is saying they think he already went through the gate, or is he trying to go through the gate?
You may have to repeat that, Daniel. Your connection's a little bit squicky.
Oh, sorry. My thing was, do they know if he went through the gate or if he's just trying to get through the gate? Just trying to get clarification.
The last known information is that he managed to make it to the gate, but the contacts within Terra Genesis have not reported whether or not the identity known as the Pompeii Pirate was actually getting through on another team. So that seems to be where it drops cold.
All right, so that's the first thing we have to figure out.
Okay.
So I'll look over at my fellow agent. So are you the muscle?
Not exactly.
Because I'm not the muscle.
Is a synth morph. What do you need to know that?
Okay.
So terminate with extreme prejudice and no muscle on this one. That's okay.
Well, your proxy looks up and says there is a particular reason why we're wanting you to go in this one, because we've sent in other Wetworks teams before, and it's been very messy to say the least. So we're hoping that somebody else with a lighter touch may be able to get closer if this is indeed Starcadian, and will be able to contain it more appropriately. She does note that on your arrival, at the Vulcanoid gate, you will be provided with plasma-based weaponry if necessary. Also, if since there is a possibility that he might have a cyber brain, Sarcadian usually noted for having that, narcotic algorithms will be provided as well if you don't already have them in order to be able to give yourself a larger edge if necessary.
Understood. I'm assuming we're needing to be clean. Can I get a blueprint for some disassembler swarms?
Let's see. Go ahead, pull up the information for that. I will go. Do you have any networking firewall?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go ahead and roll that.
Oh, right. Got the roller. Give me just a sec.
Okay.
No. Failed horribly there. I'm 3 times over.
As much as we'd like to give you that, unfortunately, it is a little bit more overt than we'd like to. So, if you can find anything on base when he's found it, or maybe requisition in from Terra Genesis, that may be a possibility. However, this is again more or less a mission in which discretion is at the utmost.
Understood.
So, all right. At this point, before we go, you can ask your contact any other questions if you're trying to get more information on Starcadian, potential threats for that, or other contacts near that might be able to give you more of an edge.
So this is a hypercorp that's controlling the gate, right?
Not a. Let's see. I do not believe it's a full-on hypercorp, but let me go and take. For Terra Genesis, it's actually on its own. So, yes, the Terra Genesis. Sorry, it is a cooperative Congress. So, for a corporation. So, it is not a full one. It is not with the Planetary Consortium. They are on their own. So, think of them as more of a larger startup that is trying to get their money through
So
investments
my
and taking people through different exoplanets and taking on risks that the other hypercorps will not go through.
so my networking hypercore is not going to be helpful.
You may be able to get a little more information off of it, so go ahead and take a roll.
Okay. That is not less than 50, no.
Okay. So nothing else at least along those lines. That the only thing you can really get from it is that the exoplanets that they have been able to find through Terra Genesis have been very well guarded, and there is rumors about a possible seed AI project that has been going through, but those are very, very low rumors, so nobody's able to ever prove anything definitive.
Um, does it have some of the standard gate crashing teams that try to go through here? Would my ecologist contacts let me talk with any people who are familiar with the gate system?
Yeah. What's your contacts for the gate crashes at?
I don't have contacts gate crashers. I've got ecologists. It's
Oh,
one of my
ecologist?
better. Yeah, it's one of my better ones.
Okay. What are you rolling at?
Um, which isn't the great, but I'm not a social person.
Okay, so that's enough. Go ahead and give it one more roll, Lindsay.
And now that's a crit fail. Nope.
Okay, so yeah, you apparently burned your bridges with them outside of the last mission, so they're not really going to give you much of anything to go on. So sorry.
That's fine.
All right, so that's about as much information you get, Jonathan. So Hop, is there any thing you want to ask before proceeding?
Nothing I can think of right now.
Okay, so your contact lets you know that you will be ego casting over to the Vulcanoid gate. They have been giving you credentials, so at least you can get on there and take and see if you can get the equipment that you need going forward. But outside of that, yep, you are now on your own. So good luck. Working from that. All right. So we'll go through, and just before going up, are we planning to keep the morphs that you were in, or were you going to try to transfer into something else?
No, I wanted to keep it
I don't
simple.
know the
I was just
system
going to
well
go
enough
for
to
the
try
same
to
mode.
transfer into anything else. That said, I might look at some skill soft so I could use that gun, that plasma they're going to give me better.
Okay, you can go ahead and do that.
Just
So,
look at those up quick.
hmm.
Oh, I'd also need to buy the skillware implant too.
Yeah, that's the expensive part.
So with this one, I will say just for the
Be able to do that.
well, for the one, since they know that you need a little bit of heavier weaponry, this will be a one-time expense. Although it will be issues will be credited towards your next mission if you need anything.
Oh, sorry.
So the purchase will be allow you to go through that. Although let me take a look and see.
Because I only have about 1450 credits.
Oh, you got way more than I do. If I can pay in GREP to get the Skillsoft in my morph that I log into, that'd be awesome. If not, then I'll deal without.
Okay. And you're going to play within GREP?
Yeah, I've got good GREP contacts.
Where are the costs associated with these?
So
It's buried and hard to deal with.
yeah, it's going within there. So I'm going to just go ahead and allow certain ones. So if you want to justify your rep in story, I do not mind this turn. So.
All right, I'll take a skillware, and then what skills used with plasma weaponry?
Plasma weaponry.
Plasma weapons.
Okay, I'll get Skillsoft for that.
And that gives you 30 in the skill.
That's better than what I had beforehand.
I'm doing the same thing because I use kinetic.
Yeah, I have spray weapons by default. By the way, the Skillsoft makes you have the exact same skill.
Alright. So you can do that, and with your G-Rep, let's see. I will say you can go ahead and make the correct corporate contact for that if you want to. But that will be...
Fair enough.
Let's see. Can you go ahead and make a networking hyperforce roll?
Yes, I make the networking criminal with the 36 under 40.
Alright. So, alright, that's enough. So, you get within your contact, and they will allow you the price for about 15 G-Rep.
Done.
Alright. So, you do have the skill softs now, and the ability to go ahead and use those as necessary.
Alright. Did you need me to roll up on one of my reps?
For that, yes. Go ahead, and what are your contacts at?
Okay, I actually have quite a bit here. I have Autonomous, Criminal, Hypercore, and Media.
Okay.
I wish it was Media because that's my highest, but I highly doubt a news station can give me a Skillsoft with guns.
Alright, I will say for this one, it's a little bit going. You can go ahead and roll Criminal.
Okay, that's a little less than Hypercore, but it's better than nothing.
Okay.
I'm used to Roll20 where I can just press up to redo my last roll.
So.
Anything? Oh yeah, that works.
It does? Okay.
I got a 6.
All right. So, and do you have any G-Reps?
Let's see. Where did it list that?
Rips off the side.
None.
Okay.
That's actually bad.
All right.
I have at rep, C rep, E rep, I rep, and R rep.
Okay. Well, this will be kind of a loan credit situation if you can persuade. So, what is your argument to say that you will pay that forward?
Let's see. If I come across something that's more useful to whatever criminal organization I'm doing this with, instead of making a report on it, I'll just give it to them.
Them? All right. You could go ahead and make a persuasion with a +10.
All right. Now I actually have to look at my persuasion. It should be in here. 50 boosted up to 60 is still not Astrid. Moxie. Let's make that 26.
26? All right. Oh, you're spending the Moxie already. Okay.
Yep, that's not going to bite me in the back yet, is it?
Yep, not at all. All right. Well, Let's see. Well, you go ahead and get that. So that will get you the appropriate skill soft that you need. So, and are you buying into plasma weaponry too?
I thought they said they were applying that. Firewall said.
For the oh yeah. So yeah, you could, this is also when you're getting through. So what are you trying to get through then?
Oh, I was buying the skill soft and skillware.
Okay, so, all right. That's what I was asking. So that if you were buying the skill soft for the plasma weaponry. So.
Okay, sorry, I got confused there.
No worries. So, all right.
I guess I'll just write it in chat that I meant Moxie for.
Yeah, don't worry.
For some reason, I suddenly stopped being able to write on my PDFs like I used to, like 2 seconds ago. Technology.
Working it out. Alrighty. So that's like the time that you would have for. So you guys go and get rest, and then are asked to report to the ego casting facility to send you to your next destination. So we will go from that. And all right. So between you, I'm gonna need a roll off. So we're gonna go. It's like each we're going for whoever gets the lowest. So who? Both of you guys go ahead and make a D. Roll.
So 52 versus 1.
Yeah, I got the high roll there.
Okay, so all right, so Daniel, you got a 1.
Yep.
All right, good for you. You go to sleep, and that's the last thing you remember until you wake up and you look above you, and you're seeing a sun under a very blue sky.
I've been hitting the narco algorithms a little hard.
So, yeah, it's a little bit of an issue. So, but you can go ahead and let's see, where is that? Go ahead and make a perception check.
No. I fail that.
You failed that? Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you get up.
Unless nope, that wouldn't work anyways.
All right. So, yeah, that's a big fail. So your eyes are still kind of blurry. You're kind of assuming that this is maybe just a side effect that you had from the ego cast, that you're just kind of reintegrating back in, and it's not good. And or maybe they put you in a simul space. We don't know what's going on. So it's just it's weird. But you can't see anything very well yet, but you can hear what sounds like people moving around you.
I do have pretty much every enhanced sense.
Okay, so actually, I forgot about that one. So
enhanced hearing, enhanced smell, enhanced vision.
Okay, so all right, well, let's see. Those, it's a little bit weird for those that are kind of not coming up with it. So you're doing things. Although I will let you make one more perception check with plus 20 to your smell.
Okay. Not rolling good anymore. So nope.
Nothing. Okay. All right. So yeah, it's just all kind of overwhelming to you for the moment. So that's going. So it's a little bit off from there. All right. So that one, Ken, you wake up. It's very bright. You're very blue sky. Your eyesight's kind of going to that. But it seems to be readjusting. Go ahead and you can make a perception roll with any enhanced senses. That's to be a plus 20.
Yeah, I do have enhanced vision, so I'll go for that.
Okay.
And alright, decent chance. No, 81.
81?
No.
Okay. So,
that's all I made.
all right, so yeah, you're still very groggy from the ego cast you consume and the reintegration into your new body. So you can hear somebody shuffling over behind you, and it sounds like Hop.
Well, I've got 360 vision. Does it look like them?
Yeah, through the blurriness, you're seeing what looks like the Bartsumian synth that's standing next to you. So,
Ah,
but as you're looking around too, you realize that you're getting flashes of something now that's coming into focus. So, but and you're both kind of looking around from that. And finally, when you hear somebody stop behind you, um, do you two need help?
maybe.
Okay. So do you look to
Anyone
see where the
finish
voices?
lines outside?
Yeah, you're outside right now. So I'll say both of you look back, and you see what appears to be a another synth morph. It's just a box morph. Uh, that looking down at you, looks like it's in each of its hands. It seems to have shopping bags of some sort, like it's something going through there. You're not sure what's going on from here. But it's looking at you with a confused look. Are you lost?
Yeah. It's been a long day. Or an
I can
early
see that.
morning. I'm not sure which. Uh,
You you hitting the bottle that hard yet?
if I'm this messed up, then yeah. So, do me a favor. What day of the week is it, and what city am I in?
So it looks at you. Well, it's 12 p.m.
Okay.
You were it's we that's like the year is 2056, and
Okay.
this is Portland.
Oh. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Wait, what?
Yeah, both of you. Does either of you have a history?
No, I've only got post-fall Earth as an interest. I don't actually have
Post-fall
any use.
history and interests.
Yeah, I
Just
don't
post-fall.
actually. Um, no, no.
Well, I'll allow you to go ahead and roll a cognition times 3 roll.
Okay. Oh God, no! I crit fail.
I'm one under it. I mean, I'm one away from success.
Okay, so yeah, so here's the system right now. You were okay, yeah, you crit fail all that. So obviously you're still sleeping. Something's wrong. Somebody has put you in waiting on the ego cast, and you're waiting to get in your body. So they're fucking with you. Something else is wrong from here. Oh, it takes you a minute as the friendly robot the synth seems to look at you for a while before going on to it, and you can see the bags it's carrying says Macy's and Tiffany's and a couple other things. And it slowly dawns on you as you look around. You can see you're on a bustling uh, downtown where you can see shops and other people going about their business, all sorts of people, different morphs, and a bright blue sky with the sun, and almost not a cloud in sight. And also in the sky, very off to the side, it just kind of slowly dawns on you. You see the moon. You see the moon from where it would be in Earth's orbit, from the ground up.
Okay, we're in some sort of Titan mind screw. I don't know what's going on.
Yep, that's where you go ahead and you make a lucidity roll.
Okay. Well, I don't think that passes.
Okay, what'd you get?
I got 90.
Yeah, so yeah, you're gonna take at least 2 lucidity from that. So you realize that you were in a place that should not be. So anything on Earth right now should just be a smoking, toxic ruin at this point. That if there's any life down there, it has to be a nightmarish Mad Max scenario.
We're in a possible place or time travel.
Okay, sorry, you're breaking up again. Can you say it again?
Oh, sorry, I was saying. So we're in a possible place now or in time travel. Is it also possible?
You don't know, but you realize that your memories are not syncing up to the last time that you got in. So something's up.
What's a good way of testing if you're in a single space?
For that one, do you have any kind of programming aspects?
Let's see. No.
Okay. Let's see. Well, I
I
will
can
go
do
ahead.
hardware robotics, but that's about it.
Okay. You can go ahead and make another cognition test for it's like times 3 to see if you can think of an idea.
I passed that.
Okay. Oh, you passed that? All right. All right. You realize that you've logged in. You've not checked in with your muse. Also, as you're looking up, you do see that there are AR displays, which probably means that there is the presence of a mesh somewhere. But you've been kind of a little too shell shocked to check.
Okay, turn on AR.
Okay. Your muse comes back into full view. What is your muse?
Hmm. Let's see. Even though it's a reference my character won't get because of his interests don't include it, McGruff the Crown Dog.
McGruff the crime dog. Okay. So, yeah. So you see a Columbo-esque middle-aged lab in a large trench coat hovering in view. Hey, boss. What's going on?
Hey, not much. Are we connected to a mesh?
Oh, yeah. Let me go on through that. You see, take a drag off the cigar. Looks over for a second. Starts waving his hand around, which you see different AR displays going through. Yeah, let's look through. Looks like we are connected over to the grander area free Portland mesh. So, haven't heard of this one before.
Hmm.
Well, would you like to
You,
get login credentials?
Yes. Against my better judgment.
Okay. So, we'll go ahead and say this. E gives you the information. So, go ahead and make a interfacing check.
Okay. Enter. That's also not on my list.
Oh man, they didn't even give you basic computer use. That's horrible.
Yeah, I have InfoSec though.
Yeah. Well, in this case, this one's just this is for another purpose. So, but it's definitely know if you pass or fail.
I find it weird that I have InfoSec, but I don't have interface.
Yeah.
Do you not? You have interfacing.
Really?
You know? Let's see.
I have infiltration and then InfoSec. Oh wait, there, underneath all that. For some reason I thought I'd find the others.
Yeah.
Okay. How alphabets work. Okay, nope, I failed that.
Fail it? Okay. You're able to you start to log in, but you kind of hit a wall. It pushes you out and says error declined in mesh. User ID already in service.
Wait, what? I'm not old enough to be from Earth, so that's who's using my ID?
That's the question. So McGruff looks around. Yeah, this.
So let me know when I buy a clue.
Okay, so, all right, well, yeah, so you're back up right now. You're going through. Are you both? It's like, help. Are you realizing? Relaying this information over to Ken?
Yeah. The local mesh confirms their story. We say, rather it corroborates it. It says we're
Okay,
in
fine.
Portland, and
Let me. I'm not integrating well into this morph, so just give me a second. I'll tell Ryu to log into the local mesh.
ha,
All right, so a very buff guy in a karate gig. That's like bows to you, and you can go ahead and log back in for that. So go ahead. You can, if you're logging him in, you can use his. Let's see. You can use his excuse me. You can use his interfacing.
Okay, no, that's a fail. That's a 73.
All right. That bounces back out. Like, Master, I'm sorry to inform you that you are already logged in.
Okay. Understood, I guess. Look, we need to not be standing on the street corner. At some point, we're going to draw the wrong kind of attention. We should go someplace and find out if we even have money that is any good.
Okay. That may be on there. So, it's like you can go. Where would you like to go? There are several different stops. Each of you can go ahead and make another perception roll. You can, if you have your enhanced senses, you can go ahead and add those in.
No. Nope.
why do my perception checks always end up at 81?
Okay.
Nah.
All right. So both fail.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, you're not. I will actually say this is for free. So you're not seeing anything that
Does
says.
LiDAR help me at all?
You know what? I'll give you one instance of that. This will go through. It's bouncing off of it. But as soon as it comes back, you turn around and you see that there's just a large AR display that was in front of you didn't see before that says "Lost looking." It's like looking for directions and talk to the local muse at your nearest kiosk. Have fun in Portland. And shuts off, and you see down the street there is a large informational kiosk that seems to be affixed over to a bus stop.
Looks as good as anything.
All right, so you're going over there and checking out what it is.
Sure.
All right, so all right, you get over there. A couple people who are kind of giving you side looks, but not really doing much of anything, right? They're kind of just scooting back over, waiting for their hover bus to come along. But you see a large map of Portland. You see a mascot that appears to be a raccoon at the bottom. It's dancing around, like, and once you approach it, it looks up. Hello, I'm your friendly guide to Portland. What would you like to know? Interface now with your Muse and get personalized directions, suggestions, and information on the great nightlife of Portland.
Well, Ryu, you're going to have to take one for the team. I tell him to interface.
Okay, so you can go ahead and do this. Now that you're at a general kiosk right now, you can go ahead and make another roll. Although this is at a plus 10 now.
No. No. I rolled a 62. That only bumped me up to a 40 because dice rolls in this game are hard.
Okay, so all right, you can go ahead. Well, what's your interfacing at personally?
No, 35. Ooh, I didn't notice the morph bonus.
Okay, yeah. So you did make it with the morph bonus.
No. No.
All right. It bounces back. Says, "Oh, I'm really sorry, but it looks like you're already still logged into the system. Well, it's like that name, so it's not used for your personalized data. Would you like to create a new one?" So it's giving you the option to go ahead and create another one. So,
Sure, I'll create a new ID.
or if you want to before that, you can also make another cognition times 5 roll to see if you can get any other ideas.
Yeah, I'll go for the cog roll then.
Okay.
Yes, I finally make a roll tonight.
All right. So it occurs to you that one of two things may be happening in this case that would reject you from any kind of mesh systems from your just general knowledge of it. Uh, if it's logged in under the same credentials, somebody might be spoofing that information.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to interface under normal roles, that might be an issue of the bouncing out. So you can go ahead and create the new ID, although you're not certain what information that will open up to you. Or if you're more comfortable with it, you can try to use an infosec role to breach the system and see what's going on.
What's
Um,
your infosec?
that's not my job. I could rewire this thing to make it work for us, but there's a lot of people around, and that'll draw a lot of attention.
Well,
But
I have
that's
40,
hardware
which
side.
is not great, but better than nothing.
No, I've only got the hardware side of things. I don't have the software.
All right,
All right.
so
I'll try infosecing it first.
all right,
Holy crap, I make it.
all right. What did you make it by?
32 out of 40, so 8.
8? Oh, wow, good. All right. So let's see. So yeah, you're just on the end system. You go ahead and make the roll, and you see those. You actually see the raccoon shimmer a second, and it looks up. Administrator rights accessed. Would you like privacy mode while it's like while doing updates to the system?
Yes.
Okay, it clicks off. You see that there's almost like an AR display that floats in front of it where it's giving you the normal information. But on the inside, you see that the small avatar on the screen is still looking up. Welcome, That's like general administrators. What information can we give you on the project?
Current status of project.
Integration of current egos is at that's like 50%. The That's like baselines of the that's like of the driver that's like of the full morph driver is that's like going through its testing phase at the moment. We are that's like see, that's like we are taking a look to see if if the new egos are fully compatible with the areas in which they decide to drive. And we that's like that's like Administrator Starcadian is currently going through his final trial test to see if the overdrivers will take control of the other egos within the area.
Ask them what the mission statement for
Weird.
the project is.
Mission
Further,
statement for project.
restricted information. Those That information is only available to those of proxy level or higher. This information will be relayed to Starcadian given within the 30 seconds unless proper credentials are shown. So this will be another InfoSec test to be able to pass this. So
Sorry, dude. I tried. It was a bad idea.
so
7.
so you can
7 out of 40.
all right. Oh, did you just roll?
Yes.
Okay. So well, this is a test off. So let's see. We're there, and you have 7 out of 40.
Yes.
All right.
So that means it's going to be easy for him to roll higher than that.
So, and that is the case. So he got a 26.
All right.
That's
Do I
not-
get a chance to act?
This one, here's the choices right now. It got on there, so if you will not be able to proceed any further on this one, you can try again. Although if you do, they will have a direct link on you. If not, you could disconnect and then attempt
Is
to.
it possible for me to do one more command before disconnecting?
Sorry.
Is there a possibility for me to do one more command before disconnecting?
What are you wanting to get?
Log off all users. Everyone has to relog in. And see if we can get in before our spoofs get in.
That one is not going to allow you. Probably not going to give an option. You can do it, but that will more than I will say your muse actually comes up. That more than likely will send our location to Storkadian or whoever's in charge of this up like a firework.
Oh well, it was worth a shot.
All right.
Disconnect.
I'm gonna try to see if I can hardware the outgoing signal so that it can't actually transmit data out from this kiosk.
Okay.
It'll still know that we made the request because that's how it bounced off the server.
Okay, so you're trying to you're actually trying to go ahead and make sure that it can't. You're going to see if it prevented the signal from going over.
Yeah, basically what I'm trying to do is make sure that sysadmin can't use this node to get information on us because it has no outbound signal.
Okay, and are you using hardware electronics on that to
Yes.
try to take it out?
Yep.
All right, go ahead and make a roll.
Maybe I can get one tonight. Yes, 24.
24. All right. So you do manage to go ahead and shut it off. So you take you see that the raccoon is still counting down. That's a moment where the entire display goes down. So that's going through. Although everybody at the bus stop, even the ones who were getting on to the hover bus, and the other ones are now staring directly at you.
Yep, we need to move.
All right. So you can go ahead and decide what your next step is, and I will be right back.
Really weird idea, but how much do you think 2050 fake Portland has a lot of link state users?
It could. I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Worst case scenario in that, I just wake up with no more information than I had previously.
Yeah. Like I said, I may not have made the best call with cutting the hard line out because it looks like everybody around is just an observer as well. But we learned stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. So, what do you think he means by ego driver? And testing integration with a more. Is this signal space as a holding for testing something?
That's kind of my thought. Well, okay.
Except if all these other people are things he's trapped in here, why do they have altered memories and we don't?
Well, first we need to figure out whether or not we're in a simul space or whether or not we're on an exoplanet.
Yep, and
because we were dealing with gate stuff, so we could be on an exoplanet.
That's true.
So if we can make sure that we're...
landing site.
Well, yeah, but we have memory loss, so we could have woken up on the other side of a gate. And I don't really have the skill set to know if we're in the real world or a really good facsimile therefore of.
All right, I'm back. So what have you guys planned?
Basically, we're going to try to start moving away from people because people are looking at us, and that's not necessarily helpful. So what do you want? I'm trying to remember the skills.
Well, I've got
game.
free running to run away, but I've also got deception because, like, I don't know what you're acting about. I'm just fine. I'm a normal person. Walk, walk, walk.
What's the stealth skill in this game again? Is it infiltration? No, that's a cog skill. No, it's coordination.
That's coordination. So that's to if you're trying to get in somewhere without being seen, that would actually
yeah,
work.
we're exfiltrating.
Yep. So that's at least getting around from there. But if you're not wanting to be seen from there, you can think about different areas where you're not, because you're discussing a park, which would be fine as well. You are still given at least a couple of options because you still technically can go ahead and make another ID onto the mesh just to see if you can get any more information if necessary. Because it's as you're seeing, it's your other IDs that are being bounced back. So for some reason saying they was already logged in on that, however, they were taken
I'm
from
making
it.
a new ID, which is my old ID with a bunch of numbers at the end.
Okay. So, and also, going back at least to the mission briefing as well, you technically don't have any memory of going through, but you can see if there are other options where you can check that as well. And options right now where you can go to other people that might be able to potentially retrieve those.
Why don't you see if you can't get us some fake IDs and see if we can't try to find any stuff for our networks that are left as breadcrumbs, and let's work from there. Because if we're the only ones here, that's going to be a problem. Has less people.
Oh, sorry, can you say that again? You faded out.
Oh, the park probably has less people.
Okay, so yeah, so you can go ahead and make your way around that way. So I will say both of you, as you're, it's pretty easy to go through most of the informational kiosks you're going through. If you just press a couple like the map data, it just shows you right to go where to go. But along the way, as you're going, you both can go ahead and make perception checks.
Okay. What's the speed you want again? Nope, 74. Still not good.
No, 97.
Okay. Yeah, this is still looking a little bit odd overall. So you not really sure what's going through. Right. But you know, say you do reach the park. You see that overall, there's a larger amount of people, not huge, but you're just seeing mainly people who are out different sports, a couple people who are picnicking out there or jogging around. So you can find a quiet area underneath a couple trees and then figure out where you need from it.
Okay. Is there any people that are visible in the area, though?
So, all right, can you say that again?
Because I was wondering if there's any people in the area, because I had a weird idea of using my facial recognition to see if I pick up any specific people, which would identify us as, okay, this isn't the fastest.
So, sorry, it was breaking up again. I couldn't hear.
He's trying to use facial recognition to find other people in the area that he might know if we're in a concurrent timeline or not.
Okay, I'm sorry. So you're trying to see if that information. Yeah, if you would like to see if you can give that a try, what skill are you going to use that for?
Let's see.
Do you have any programming skills to be able to look at?
I have facial image recognition software.
You have facial image recognition? All right. Let's see. I will go ahead and do that. You can actually run that, and I will say that's at a plus 10 in addition to your perception check. So you can go ahead and do that.
Okay. 71.
71. All right, and that make it?
I don't believe so. Because, yeah, you plus tip my third only get me to 60.
But you were using your enhanced essence, correct?
And that would get me to 70, and 71 is still above 70.
All right, so you can go ahead. That's actually enough in this case, so it's just one off. But
your enhanced senses at 20.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You're going with the software. So, all right. But yeah, you're going ahead and sensing out around the areas, and you do pick up on something that a lot of the faces that you're going through, that you're seeing pass around while waiting around in the park, they're not exactly the same, but it looks like they could be in the same family. Almost like you have the same heights, hair color, and whatnot, and facial features are just rearranged ever so slightly.
They're saving RAM.
So this is where that may be a very real possibility if this is a simul space, but also that it's really off-putting too. So even within normal simul space options,
everybody's made off of either the same manufacturing model or they all are same data in a single space. Basically, either way, this is illusion. Whether it's someone set up a fake town on exoplanet or a single space, either way, we're not in the past.
Okay, well, just give me a sec to try to verify something. So, Aaron, here's what I'm going to try to do.
Okay.
I've got a lab kit.
All right.
It's one of the pieces of my gear. It's the mobile lab.
All right.
The mobile lab's actually pretty cool. It can do some really nice things. I'm going to have it test for the nuclear fallout from Batman to find out whether or not we're on an exoplanet or on Earth, and if we're on Earth, maybe what decade we're supposed to be in.
All right. Let me take a look at that. See. All right. I will go ahead and allow you to do that. So, I'm going to say to operate that since you're trying to actually find different ones, I'll allow you to either to go ahead and roll academics material sciences for that or academics physics.
I will go for the academics physics because
Okay.
I'm better at that.
All right.
Well, actually, I have the both. Okay.
Yep.
So,
And with the mobile lab, that should give you a +10 to that too. So.
all right. So I made it with a 10.
Okay.
So I should hopefully have some idea of what's going on. And let's see how cool the person was who programmed this if we're in a symbol space.
Okay. So, yep, you look at the information, and it comes out saying 0 fallout recorded. This it's like current operation is not part of the processing program.
All right, I give you that readout, and my money's on simulation.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
Well, I couldn't rule out exoplanet. I couldn't rule out exoplanet without some kind of proof.
So, it's working off of that system. So that works out as well. All right. But that being said, you both, as you're working it out, both of you can go ahead and make a another perception check.
Oh boy. No, 94.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. This is bad, but I've already done it before. But let's moxie that down to 27.
All right. Okay. So taking 27.
Yeah, I don't need to have more than 4 not moxie.
All right. So you're looking at it's like you're just kind of looking for a second. You don't think you really see anything, but then as you're looking across, I will say that you're on the opposite side of a pond. You end up looking over there, and you see something a little familiar. Looks like there are two people that were just sleeping off on one of the benches, but one looks like a very familiar octomorph, and another one looks like a one that's often a gargoyle. Oh, sorry, synth.
They forked us.
Oh, and you see them get up. You can't actually hear them because they're across the pond on this one. But as they're on the ground, you see another what appears to be that same synth, where it's carrying all the bags. Stop, ask a question, and these up look confused.
Okay, they forked us and are repeating the experiment on us over and over. I point out our doppelgangers.
So
yeah, that's a stress test.
yeah.
So yeah.
Well, 93.
Okay, yeah,
I don't think that passes.
No, that's because you roll times 3.
Nope.
So no. All right. So in both of you failed.
Yep.
All right. Each of you can go ahead and take. I will say 3 on this one again because it's not horrible. Well, yeah, it's like you know what forking is, you know what's there, but this is still pretty bad.
Yep. Oh.
So yeah, you're the conclusions you come forward right now. You're probably in a civil space. More than likely, you've probably been forked. But most often, you're seeing the issues rolling.
And then I just realized something horrible.
Hmm.
We're not the first ones of us to wake up.
No, we're not, because we're already on the network.
So I tried to ping myself, my original login.
Ah, dear God. But,
you do?
Wait,
oh, no.
maybe I should think this through.
No.
Oh well.
Okay, I know.
Oh well. You can go ahead. Well. Okay. I will give you one chance for that. So let's see.
No, let's not do that.
All right, so you can make a quick decision on that too, but you realize that this is it's like so it's yeah, that will probably give your location away immediately with it. But
Let's see if I can get into another terminal. I want to see how many, if they have a list of IDs, and see how many times I put my name with random numbers.
oh, well, you can do that. There appears to be another informational kiosk in the middle of the park.
Um,
That is risky because I've only been passing my luck because I have only 40, I believe, in that.
do you have an ecto?
An ecto?
Yes.
Don't see it in my stats.
It would be
So
in your gear.
it's your gear. So basically,
Yeah.
basically it's a handheld.
Nope, I don't have it in my gear. I do have a saucer box, spec box, smart dust.
Okay. So the only way we're going to get through this is by acting criminal, right?
Well, at this point, like I said, you have your suspicions. You're still operating off of a little information, and also at this moment, you've adjusted to it, but you still have not looked up any information that potentially could relate to Starcadian.
No. I'm tracking. I'm just looking at my fellow agent and trying to make sure that they're on the same page. That the only way we're getting through this is by acting as criminals in the network.
Oh, that's fairly likely.
Okay, then we should try to find some ectos. We should try to set up a double blind and do remote access through the ectos from a different geographical location than we're at. So when we get caught, they find the ectos and not us.
All right.
Right.
I can help set up some of the hardware for that, but it's going to be up to you to get us into the network.
All right,
I
so
wish I didn't get plasma skills off since we don't have them.
Well, if we're going to steal stuff, we can try to steal some plasma weapons while we're at it.
So,
Okay.
all right. So at the end, so you're trying to gain access to Ecto to be able to infiltrate with a little more with a barrier, so you're not just directly connecting it. Correct?
Well, my current thought is literally to try to find an Apple store and to steal some ectos with my palming skill.
All right. So, you can go ahead
I
and
can
do
also
that.
be, let's see. I'm not sure if art performance counts as a distraction or not.
Well, you can see if that can work to your benefit. So, I will actually say, so the plan is to try to get some one. So, let's see. You can go to the map data, and it will lead you to the most closest orange store.
Okay.
So, you managed to go over there. It's bright, slick. For some reason, there's a lot of ARs displays that have a lot of lens flare for some reason. So. But once you go in, you have the you have the kiosk AI come up and greet you, asking you what they can help you with.
I have industrial hardware. I will try to ask it for stuff that is not in general production in the year that we're in.
Okay, so so you're trying to see, are you trying to confuse it, or just seeing if it will give you that thing?
Either, both. I'm just throwing stuff and seeing what responds to it. Looking for something a little bit anachronistic that would be about 9 months out of the production cycle for when this simulation is supposed to be happening.
Okay, so yeah, if you want to roll hardware electronics on that, then absolutely.
Yep, got it. 17.
Okay, you absolutely know what to ask for. So it directs you over to a table that provides you with that, and asks you if you would like to go through the trial or if you would like to purchase immediately.
I'll have my muse read the contract.
Okay. So it starts reading off a lot of really boring legalese at this point.
I'm just having the muse deal with the legal contract because I imagine in the far future, muses can deal with end user license stuff.
Which may or may not be a really good idea, and having bots sign things over for you, but decision.
I'm convinced it'll be a simulation.
Yeah.
My care of the actual legal ramifications for this are kind of on the low side.
Yeah. So with that one, yeah, but you can go ahead. But I will say, if you would like, uh, I will say this will be an infosec to have your muse and you get past this without being seen. So if you want to roll that,
InfoSec as opposed to interfacing?
yes, infosec, because this is actually getting past this. The way you're using it is like a distraction. So in order to get
Can
it,
I help him with that?
so I will allow it. So if you want to get a 10% bonus on that,
Yeah, I'll bounce the roll over to my partner because this is not something that I'm skilled at.
okay, yeah.
A 45 out of 40. Unless I have a bonus, I can't do much.
Okay, so, and with, did you oh, well, you were helping each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then that gave you the 10% bonus, so that will succeed. So,
Okay.
but this is enough to basically, yeah, it's going over boring conversation. It assumes you're listening, and you are into the, you basically have enough to take the ecto with you, so without
Okay.
the software noticing.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, all right, and are you just doing it out in the open, or are you trying to find an area where you could be safe?
We should get on a bus. And we should leave the ecto on a bus. That way the ecto's moving.
Okay, so you're trying to at least to like cover your tracks and see if you can go around the area.
Yep.
All right.
It just, we're firewall agents. We should have some basic idea of tradecraft.
Okay, I agree with that. So all right, so you can find the bus. That's not a big deal. You can like you wait for that, and you get on. So I'm gonna say that you don't have to. You do get on, and they do ask for your fare.
Do credits work?
You might be able to take a look at that. There is a area that you see that you can put your handprint on or palm print on, and it says credit exchange.
I'm gonna risk it.
All right, so you go on, and it lights up and says credits deposited. Enjoy your ride.
Okay. I'll do the same thing.
All right, you do that. It's gonna go ahead and do the same thing, but go ahead and you alone can roll perception.
Ugh. To double check. No, it's a 69 out of 65, so I can't even moxie it.
All right, so you go. It's like you put it on there. It seems like it's not going to work for a second, but then it seems to go right. Bus driver says, "Welcome on board to downtown South Track," and it starts moving again.
So we're already DC. I'm doing this in a silent whatever mesh speak to him. They're already
Oh,
DC.
I have a tactical network.
Yeah,
You don't have one.
Yeah, I will actually allow that. So if you have, if you want to attack that, so
We're already DC with our prior system because I'm pretty sure that store would be on lockdown if they realized someone stole Echo earlier. So they did steal an Ecto. Wonder what that they did, or if there's been more alterations between each generation. Because he's trying to find the eco for the right setup. So I'm wondering if he's refining us in a loop.
so
Horrifying.
This is beyond my pay grade. If we had a statistician or a mathematician, maybe we could try to figure those things out, but I'm just your hardware guy. Look, I came up with the clever idea of we hide the ecto under the seat, and we keep in contact with it, and we use it to try to get into the network, and that way we don't get busted right away. But I'm running low on ideas here.
Wait, did you make yourself a new ID on the system yet?
Myself? No, I can't. Not with any way that would differentiate from me.
Because it accepted your credits, but you're not on the system.
Well, yeah, but it accepted our credits off of our morph imprints, and there's like different instantiations of us. So one of the earlier versions of us has credit in the system that we just spent.
Nope.
That's my working theory.
So interesting idea too. So you're trying to access the looping credit that you think you may have.
Yeah, basically, because okay, from what I can tell, there are many versions of us. Some are farther along in the timeline than we are, and one of them, apparently at some point, has credit in the system, and maybe even has a job, as weird as that sounds, but we have no idea how far down the chain we are.
Okay, so yep, you can look at that as something you might be able to look for that. So, let me take let's see. For that. I will actually give you a way to kind of think of through that because I know you don't have that. But I will say that your muse, most of the muses will have a certain amount of programming with it. So if you want to make a roll at 40% for that,
Okay.
you can see if through the ecto to see if that's a possibility.
Yeah, roll to 20.
Roll a 20. All right. Yeah, that's actually if you look through it and you kind of bring up the programming for it, something actually comes up to your mind that you didn't really think before on the rolls or on the loops or what you're assuming that these are. That these patterns that you're seeing this yourselves going through, and you're presuming maybe some of the other ones are going through,
Mm-hmm.
aren't so much of a trap as in a progressions of steps to build up to something larger. And you're not quite certain what it's dealing with, but there's a structure, there's underlying structure to it that's just not a general loop as you can see.
Okay. Can I apply my knowledge of physics to the structure to see if it fits any mathematics that I'm familiar with?
I will allow you to do that at a minus 20.
That's fine.
And I don't know if I can apply mimetics or psychology to this in any way.
So we'll see for that. So let's see, you got 78, so that failed.
I'm gonna spend a moxie to reroll.
You can reroll, okay.
That'll no.
At the minus 20. All right, so I'll let you keep that roll, and let's see, and you were wanting to roll psychology on that?
Psychology or mimetics, whichever you would allow that.
What's your, let me take a look to see, what was your mimetics at?
55? My psychology at 45.
Alrighty, so I will go ahead and allow that for mimetics and see if you want to, yeah, go ahead and roll that.
Because it's mixing with our brain, so to speak. It might be something to experiment there.
Yeah.
61. Damn it.
All right. So you're very, very close on that too. So, but you're kind of both kind of lying right now, and I will say that Ken, you're seeing that you're almost on the edge of it, seeing that this is like a program for something. The only thing that you can really relate it to is a compiler, something that at least is linking the program to a larger a larger mean. And I will say that you once you're thinking about it through just the mimetics and how it goes through, it's almost like a neural network in a way that it's set to calculating or at least getting to a particular point. So that it's like trying to bring so many disparate aspects together into something, but you can't really think of it. But since you've gotten so close, I'll allow both of you to make one more perception roll while you're on the bus.
Yes, I rolled a 28.
Wait. Okay. All right. And
Wait, we've established this a 20% boost by consensus, right?
Yes.
Okay, I might have actually. Yeah, I crit succeeded instead of crit failed. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. So, all right. And as you're trying to get all of this, you both look outside around the same time, And it's at that point where you are reaching the bus seems to be reaching its endpoint towards the depot as it's turning in, and it suddenly flashes back to the beginning where you actually saw the bus riding by initially when you both woke up, or you at least heard it outside of your view when your vision was coming back. And that actually brings you mind that the compiler idea, the repeating actions, if this is a simul space, it's literally using egos as a neural network program to complete something, to integrate something. So, and more or less with all the data, this very well may be a seed AI integrating information from dozens, hundreds, if not thousands of different egos that are in constant repetition.
I'm thinking we need to crash the system.
So, and that's about the point where you look up and you kind of suddenly see that the loop's still going. Everybody's the bus is still moving forward, but everybody else on the bus is now looking directly at you.
Kinesics.
So, all right, go ahead and make the roll.
I have a feeling I know what it's going to tell me, but let's see. Yeah, that passes.
That's not so much like that's like dozens of disparate eyes looking at you in confusion. Everybody in this bus is looking at you with absolute certainty. You are not right in the loop, and they start standing up.
Yeah, we need to get off the bus.
Yeah.
So,
Let's see.
all right. So, how are you getting off the bus? It's still in motion.
How
I'm
fast
a
is it moving?
hardened shell. I can take a hit if I jump out of this shit.
All right. So you're just gonna try to defenestrate.
Yeah.
All right.
So how fast is the bus moving?
Uh, as of right now, it just began at about the beginning of the loop. And it's only going about like 30. It's not going. It's not going at the
Rolling in the
max.
ground.
So,
I
but
think
yeah,
we
if you want
gotta
to go
try
ahead.
pacing the sidewalk rather than into oncoming traffic.
All right. And so yeah, I'm gonna say that if you want to, this is a fray check to just stray out.
Well, I do actually have that.
Okay.
I don't think I do.
Let's see.
I made it.
Yeah, you do.
45.
Okay.
Oh, do
So
I have it? Okay. As I
yeah,
just pulled away from my sheet real quick to look.
yeah,
something
you
up.
should. Yeah, both of you should have fray. So
Surprisingly enough, my best combat's unarmed.
is it? All right.
Yeah,
So,
at 50.
F50. All right. So. Alrighty. And so do you both make it?
Um.
Or actually, let me take a look. Oh, actually, I do not see fray. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But
I don't think I have fray.
all right. Well, I will actually.
I've got a weird skill set on this character.
No worries. Actually, in this case, since that opened it up, so here's what's going to happen. Hoff, yeah, you just burst right through the window and make a nice little roll on it. So the window is open for you. So if you want to do a temporary free fall, I will allow it
Okay.
to get out of the car, to get out of the bus on time without being caught by any of the other advancing people.
I make it.
All right, so
Roll this hand.
all right, so you both roll out. Do you see the things? It's like you see that they're still advancing, and as it's rounding the corner, they're walking off the bus and just hitting the ground, and then starting to pick themselves up. But it's just a slow move.
Oh.
So they're
Okay.
doing a bad version of what I just did.
All right. So yeah, you. That's like so the code, the algorithm has been disrupted. So now you have to figure out where maybe the base of this is actually setting up.
I toss out my saucer for a nice eye in the sky.
All right. So all right. So you're trying to get an overview of everything.
Yeah.
What do you have for movement, my friend?
for movement, let's see. Free running is at 50. I
Okay,
also can pilot a ground craft at 25.
Okay, so, so if you can jack a
How
car, then
about
of
an
course.
aircraft at 855 if we somehow find that?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna look for a parked vehicle or a vehicle parking bay or anything like that.
All right. Let's see. Go ahead and make a perception roll.
Okay, I got a decent chance at
Well,
this.
can he see through my saucer bot?
Yes, if you want to, I would do that, and you can go ahead and have a +20 on that.
Okay, well, I make it. I got a 25.
Okay. Yeah, actually, you do see a. That's like you do end up seeing a larger parking structure that's about less than a block away. Oh, and you can make the run. You still have throngs of people that are moving around you in all sorts of different morphs, but the others are still moving on you.
Okay, I'll tell you to make a way there in a slightly circuitous route, and I will go up the buildings and over to get there so they won't be able to follow me.
All right, so you're gonna try to make a beeline for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna literally go up and over and try to use my climbing to my advantage and my chameleon skin to have them maybe lose track of me.
Okay, yeah, that's not a problem at all. So, all right, you're gonna go do that. All right, and then, so I will say, just since you're trying to get in there, that'll be an infiltration check.
Okay,
And
well, I got a chance at that.
all right, so we'll have you do that. So hold off
While
on the
they're
roll just for
chasing
a
him,
second.
I'll free run a guest on that other route.
All right, and are you trying to get to the entrance of the parking garage so you can follow him up?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'll allow go ahead and free running.
Crit success.
Let's see here. I think that's one over. Yep, it is.
All right, so one over. All right, so it won't get you there immediately, so you're going to be waiting another round in order to get that. But Ken, you said you had a crit success on yours?
Yep.
All right. So, yeah, you managed to just flip right in there. Nobody is seen on there. Nobody sees you. And lo and behold, you actually see. I will give you an option. What is a ground vehicle that you would like to have?
I have a significantly better chance of piloting an aircraft. Just saying.
All right.
Yeah, if there's a hybrid vehicle that can do both, that'd be awesome. If there's not, then I'll just take what I can get.
Okay. I will actually say that for this one, you actually see a 2036 hover Cadillac. So that's sitting right there.
Caddies.
Will
love
allow
caddies.
for pilot the aircraft if you're wanting to, since they fly out of there. So we're going through it. All right, and going back to Hop for a second. You managed to get through the entrance, although you can now are seeing that there's not just the group from the bus that are coming through, but as they pass, it's also bringing along the other people on the sidewalks. It's like they're splitting off and then forming a large marching column that is coming down towards you.
This may be the weirdest idea. But can I use deception to pretend that I'm one of them searching for the people? Do their body language and everything?
Yeah, you're about to emotep this. Well, since you're in a program, that would be more of a possible programming check. Although I would, if you're going to try this, I would allow one chance on a kinesic check at a -30.
That's not worth the dice roll. In that case, I'll just keep free running upward. I have a significantly better chance of just running away.
All right, so I will go ahead and allow you to do that. Let's see. Ken, you're able to get into the craft, and you're just starting that up. Hop, as you're running up, I will go ahead and because your attention's on there, I'll give you one perception check right now to see if you notice this.
Okay, I did a 24 for the free run earlier, but let's do this.
Okay.
5.
All right. So as you're going through, because you're just so bound and determined to get up there, you notice that McGruff's crime alert comes up in your vision, and it's specifically stating a message from that all of it says from a friend.
You open it.
All right. As you do that, you don't actually get any kind of. It seems to be an audio message, but it's a very faint voice saying, "I can't really talk. He's gonna hear me if I go out of the loop, but you're making a lot of noise. So if you want to meet me, I need you to take that hover car that you're about to go and follow my instructions exactly." And the voice starts repeating off a complicated set of directions
I
of
have my
different
ears
roads.
writing down.
Okay, so yeah, you can write those down, going through that, but it's giving you all sorts of streets that you're going to be able to go through. So, all right, so at this point, you meet it with each other again. The
All
car is
right.
going,
I
and
think
but
I
you do
want to
hear,
call me.
but yeah, you are hearing all the steps that are now coming up or around the parking structure.
Okay. I have the driver's side door open.
All right,
Okay,
so
I
Side.
slide
I'm
on
like,
it.
yeah, like, come on. We need to get moving someplace.
all right,
Not here.
I take off and try to follow the directions.
okay, so yeah, so you are giving him the directions that you've been
Yeah.
afforded?
Yeah, it's actually I'm the one piloting it because I have a higher skill. He left the driver's side for me.
All right, so you're both in there. You give the direction. Are you going to trust the mystery directions that you are being given?
No, at first I'm just getting out of the building because everyone's swarming.
Okay, so that's a part for. I'll say in order to do that without causing enough commotion, that's going to be a pilot aircraft.
23 out of 55.
All right, easily. So I'll make one just roll C for the crowd. Um, they are in they have no chance. So you just blow past them.
Okay. Someone called me about they can't break the loop without being attracted, but they want us to beat them somewhere. I think it might be us. But
Well,
that's just a theory.
it's not a bad theory. The only problem is that we may be already compromised, so we just need to take that with a grain of salt. Okay, let's try it.
All right. So
I,
this is going to be to do this correctly without any kind of particular issues since you're following it. This is going to be two roles that are going forward. One will be the piloting craft, and the other one will be a baseline for programming. So you can have your it's like you can have your muse go ahead and do that. But if you're wanting to add any other skills that you think that would be able to help you with it, since you know that this is an algorithm now of some sorts, you can apply other skills beforehand to see if you can give yourself bonuses on it.
the only other thing I have is infosec or interfacing. I don't know if I can hack the simulation as I'm in it.
All right. So yeah, if you're the simulation probably wouldn't be able to do that. It would more likely shine a very large light if you failed that. However, you do you still you let's see. Do you still have the echo with it?
The actor's on
Yeah.
the bus.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, we probably would have left it on the bus because the whole idea was to hide it under the seat.
Okay.
I do, however, have a radio booster, so we could still be in contact with the Ecto.
Okay.
So,
So
actually, so
yep. So I will say you can allow a programming check for that. I will also say that if you want, you can have an academic psychology check since you've determined this is based off a potential neural network. So you can see how the mind rolls for that, and then base your own deriving programming off of that.
I could fail psychology.
There, academic psychology.
Yeah, I crit fail.
You crit failed.
Maybe I'll turn that to a normal failure.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I think at this
okay.
point, when there's vehicles involved, I do not want to crash because I did something stupid.
All right. So that doesn't give you any bonus. So you just a failure that. So you're basically off of your same line. Are there any other? If you want to roll the programming, you can, and see if that gives you the bonus, or you can give one more option.
Well, I don't have programming.
Well, your muses always have programming at 40. So
At 40? Oh, All right, let's try that out.
I'll have my muse help his muse for the teamwork bonus.
Okay, so that'll give you a 50 on this.
5.
5.
Oh,
All
I
right.
guess I just have to use my aircraft.
Okay. All right. So that gives you a bonus from it. So you are able. So with both of those, you're able to go ahead and get a +10 on your pilot aircraft. So do not crit fail this.
Oh, I just regular failed.
What failed?
72 out of 55.
All right. So that will take you a little bit longer if you're going to be able to do that, and there will be an attack. So
Oh,
with
shit.
that, because you tried to make your rounds without that, it didn't quite go, and it had failed. So the Throngs are going to get a chance to be able to try to stop you. Oh, sorry. And an ought 9. So that will damage the vehicle. So since nobody's firing anything, they're just like grabbing at it. So this will be your.
I don't think this thing has weapons.
Yep. So you basically have one last way on this vehicle to basically maneuver around in the circuit that you need to without it. So, but you have your bonus still intact from the programming one, so you have one more piloting check.
I'll pull an R2 and try to fix the thing mid-flight.
Okay. Well, I will allow that before you go. So go ahead and make your electronics. Go ahead and make your hardware roll.
18 success, even with a penalty.
Okay. So good. All right. You've taken there. So thankfully this one will hopefully it'll get you all the way, so it's not going to break down initially.
25 out of 55. No, I passed.
All right. Excellent. So, you take the hover Cadillac. You're spinning around the roads of Portland, just seemingly going back and forth at random directions, swiggling around. But as you keep going around, it takes a couple circuits, but you notice that the crowds are starting to dissipate each time. And it keeps moving back and forth in different ways until it takes you into what looks like a museum. It looks like one of the old pop culture museums. And down into their parking structure, and leads you over to an elevator. The car stops. The elevator itself opens up, and you get another message through McGruff's crime messaging system, saying, "Please meet me in the Henson article, or the Henson wing."
Okay, I do know where the Henson wing is.
All right. You see a map pop up on AR display, and you see that it's up into the museum, which is appears to be a brain went away. Oh, a display on the Jim Henson Company, particularly their products from the 1980s.
All right. Before we head up, I'm going to instruct my next officer bot to roughly head over here. Just so we can keep the credit place. That match is not as fast as that Cadillac, so it's going to be a while before it gives us anything useful.
Okay, so you're setting it by the Cadillac so you can have its warning system?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So are you both head up then?
Yeah, I'll head up.
All right.
No, I came up with a really bad idea.
Oh.
Well, we're in a symbol space, right?
Yeah.
You presume.
Okay. Well, if we're in a symbol space, it's got limited processing power and stuff, and I've got knowledge of material science, and I've got knowledge of physics. So if I tried to create something that the symbol space couldn't render, I could try to crash the program.
That is a possibility.
I'm not. It's not. I'm talking to my firewall partner here. I'm like, it's not a good idea, but it's an idea. And the problem is,
if we end up
the problem is that I'm sure I've thought of it before.
All right.
We can't think too much on that because it's a little creepy because we don't know how we tackled down this elevator and got killed, etc.
Yeah, well,
keep going.
Exactly.
Alrighty. So, all right. So we are. So that is definitely a plan that's kind of coming up, and working from that. All right. So you get up there. You It's like the doors open up, and yeah, if you're seeing all this, there's a full-on collection of different, uh, very kind of floppy-armed puppets in different animals. There's a prominent one of a frog that says name is Kermit, so that's now display here. And as you're looking through, you actually go through. You see the map's directing you to an area that is set for a show called Fraggle Rock.
Of
Okay,
course.
I dropped my smart test out.
All right. So, and just taking a long line. All
I'm
right.
just going to point out to the game master that at this point, his meta concept has told us that we need to go full Fraggle Rock.
Not necessarily. This is just an interesting.
Sure.
Like, that's why we break it by being as stupid as possible.
All right. So, but as you're going through, you just see a whole different collection of these puppets, and both of you hear a voice just saying, "All right, I think we're all alone here. Are you two okay?"
Yes, and do we recognize this voice as something very familiar?
So, what would either of you don't recognize the voice in particular?
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay, so that's the history out the window, unless we change more.
Sorry, you broke up again. Can you say that again?
Oh, sorry. So my theory that it was one of us is out the window unless we change the more.
Okay. So, no, yeah, you don't recognize the voice. It's just very soft-spoken. But then you see one of the puppets move of its own volition and seems to hop off of its bench and round the corner. And this is what you end up seeing.
It's simulating a user. I didn't click it yet. Sorry. Oh, it's simulating that one.
Yep. So for the viewers at home, this is a walking one of Gobo Fraggle walking up to him.
Oh.
So, I'm really surprised any of you broke out of the loop. So I'm very, very surprised.
Well, we saw ourselves in another loop, and that kind of gave us an idea.
Well, it's you're the first at least to be able to do that here. I'm surprised, especially with all the other mines that Starcadian has has linked into the system so far.
So do you have any ideas for how we can stop this, or do we need to come up with some lateral thinking?
Well, I'm a little bit hesitant to tell you about more until I want to tell you more, but the last time I spoke to one of you, you were a little less amicable to some of the ideas that we had, so I kind of had to relieve them of those memories and put them back into circulation.
So are you like the muse manager of the simulation?
No, you could call me a muse of sorts, but it's more or less to the ego that it's like that that I technically belong to.
Are you a tool of Starcadia? Starcadian. What?
No. Starcadian is somebody that we've been trying to stop for quite a while, and he unfortunately took a larger piece of us away. So, and I thought we had dealt with that, but unfortunately, he's not. He's much more clever than he thought we were. So we.
Do you understand the purpose of the simulation?
Yes. So the purpose of the simulation is to be able to integrate an ego as a control factor into a much larger one.
I think it means he's giving they're going to puppet somebody's brain within it.
So yeah, that is a fair approximation. So tell me.
In other words, Muppet.
So, well, this was part of at least the joke of how I was coming into the control, but this is not how I normally look. And I apologize for my candor, but it is much more serious situation as is. Your let's do either of you have your memories from your previous firewall missions?
Um, yeah, I
I'm
think so.
assuming we do.
Oh, thank God. I
I
hope
mean,
that's the case.
I don't know. Look, we don't know how we got in here. I kind of, my memories have me, pardon the pun, in media res. So I know I was on a mission, then I woke up here.
And that is the repeating pattern. Um, I I I will tell you at least the news that I told yourselves previously, but I need a promise that you will at least hear me out this time.
That's a real hard
All
promise to
right.
give, but I'm going to give it a real good shot, and that's about the best you're going to get out of me.
So I looked. I agreed. He looks over to Hop. Are you
Fine. Let's do
okay?
this.
Um, you are on an exoplanet. It is a previously undiscovered one, but it was with in Proxy Starcadian's information that he had gathered from another gate crashing team that only gave one report back and then left. It ended up being much more significant than he initially thought, as well. I don't know how much information you were given by your proxy about Starcadian, but he has become an X threat. In particular, that he had egos that could literally communicate each other as though they were quantum entangled.
Then none of this is good.
Hive mind.
And in particular, before his last known ego was brought in, it passed along the information of this place, and in particular decided to take the it's like the resources here to construct a similar device that he was experimenting on that initially started up his obsessions. And he points over to a side where you see some of the AR display comes up, and it shows three different cylinders and a table in between where it's where Morph was laying. And as you're seeing this playback, you see another team that's basically goes in there, destroys the other three, and then seems to extract a larger cortical stack going through. Now, who do you both have networking firewall?
Yeah.
Okay, you can go ahead and roll that.
I do not actually.
Okay, so all right, so you just go ahead and roll your networking firewall.
I do have a lot of rep.
Mm,
I have autonomous criminal hypercorps and media.
No.
okay. Well, I've spat it out to the dice roller, and I'm not getting a response, so I'll just use manual dice.
Okay.
That's a 14.
All right.
Oh, you just
okay,
got a
finally
5.
kicked back a 5. Yeah, it just kicked back a 5, so
Okay,
I made
no
both.
worries. Either which one is going through. But yeah, again, you actually realized that there was one report that you got previously that, when compiling information about Starcadian, is that he was apparently trying to use a experimental device to potentially integrate him to integrate information and self from a part of a Titan ego from for a previous seed AI. Her report only set up as Augustine. No other information was given of that. It was all very, very highly classified. So,
Okay.
Fraggle, the Gobo, looks over. Starcadian was stopped there, but that does not mean that there is an auxiliary plan. He took his last ego here and could not decode the information that he was given from that last one or whatever you take away. So he has taken the original gate crashing teams that came through here, has copied their egos over and over, and has been using those as a binary program to be able to integrate himself in and over the original ego's personality.
Okay. So answer me this. Are we in meat space right now, or are we in symbol space?
You're in an ego.
So we're in a simulation.
That's like, which is, you could see this, but it is literally a program. This is not a
I know.
simulation. This is that you are in the mind of a Titan. So both of you could go ahead and
Okay, you cut out for some parts of that, but I think I got the critical parts. So we're basically instantiated in Starcadian's mind, is what I got from that.
well, in this case, to clarify that, Starcadian has a piece of a Titan.
Uh-huh.
So, Andy, it's trying to essentially override. So his is in here. You are literally all part of a Titan's ego at this point.
Well, I passed it surprisingly well, actually.
No, I make my roll. I'm not happy
Alright.
about it, but I make my roll.
So you only lose 2 in the lucidity of that, so it doesn't take you into a tailspin. But you're wrapping around the fact that your actual bodies are probably, and original egos are probably very dead.
Okay, so
So we're not coming back whatsoever because we'd be considered an expert by firewalls.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just crash the brain.
yeah, we're already dead. How do we take it all out with us?
So I, looks over, says, I was really hoping we wouldn't have to go through this again, because I'm sorry. I understand your threat, and I understand firewall protocols, but I don't want to die again. That's like, and
Okay.
I want to save my ego.
I talk over our tactical network.
He's probably already got.
We're
No,
going
I
to
know.
crash it. We're all screwed. We're just
I answered
play
back
nice
over
with
the
him
tactical network. He's probably got the tactical network cracked. Let's just deal with him on the level. Okay, so look, you want out of here. That's fine. I'm not going to be the one to say that you can't get out of here. Another team's going to have to deal with you later, and you can either convince them, talk to them, or whatever. But I know I don't get to go back to Firewall. I know all of this, pointing around me, needs to go away. So if you can find a way to get out of it, and we can take it all out, I'll cut that deal with you, okay? I'll make a deal with the devil so that we mitigate the greater damage here. That's fine.
And I understand your struggle here, because I know firewall protocols in this situation. I can't promise you the return to the Sol
I don't-
system.
No, I don't need a ticket out of here. That's what I'm trying to tell you, okay? If you can find a way out, that's fine. We need to get rid of this, and we need to stop Starcadian. Other teams can deal with you later. I'm not going to burn my only way of making that happen just because I'm trying to clean everything. Okay? I'm going to accept good enough for now. Can deal with the problems.
Okay, so all right, this cut out just a little bit. So, but you're willing to go ahead and cut the deal and with what
Yeah.
this thing was.
No, I'm willing to cut a deal with this thing if we can take out Starcadian, because I have confidence that other teams can deal with him later.
Okay, good. And looking over to Hoff, is that agreeable with you?
Well, I'm outvoted either way, so yeah.
Okay. The program is almost at its completion, which means that if he takes over, it will be a fairly unstoppable force, and also it has a direct gate back to Vulcanoid. And we have no idea what he will do with that. So at this point, we need to crash the program and confuse him in order to bring him out, or at least to bring out the main integration interface.
I wonder if this Titan's AI's got security. What we think it would. Let's figure out how to turn that back on, because we are all forward software.
Yeah.
Because if we turn that on, he'll fry Starcadia and us.
Okay, so you may want to repeat that. You're cracking up.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking is that the Titan's AI would have to have some sort of security against this, but he's clearly subverted it. I'm just thinking is, could we turn that back on and just have it deal with an angry Titan's security system?
So can actually do that. Let me take a look and see for that. Um, so
Basically, I
that
want to turn it back on its anti-violence.
so you're wanting to activate you want to activate the defenses of the system.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. That's his idea, and it's
Because
not a bad
clearly,
one.
Okay.
yeah, breaking into the system, and let's just have him deal with the omnipotent machine AI on his ass.
Okay. So you can look at that. Uh, I will say you can go ahead and make that. You can go ahead and that's a possibility from it, but the Fraggle that you're in front of you just seems to be looking. That's something I think I could that it could be done, but I've been stopped at every other turn. I need another plan or distraction that can really bring it out. Um, Go ahead, Hoff. You can go ahead and make a roll of psychology again.
Okay. 7 out of 45. Can't even flip that.
All right, 7 out of 45.
No, 67. I failed.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, you just gotta see that Gobo is kind of scratching his chin and really thinking of it. All right. I think that's going to be our. It's like the best bet. So, you remember the programming aspect that I gave you before?
What?
The piloting, essentially running. That's like running the neural algorithm back and forth by flying the car around.
Oh, yeah, I have that written down, actually.
All right. So, in order to do this, this is going to be a lot more complicated. In order to be able to do this, I would not be able to assist you initially. So, you're going to have to be. It's like run very fast, very hot, and probably have to deal with some other larger firefights before it completes itself. But if you can do that, that will turn on the internal security and probably give us the best option to be able to infiltrate.
Okay. Uh, can we try to have some of the simulation dealing with an unsolvable problem to take out more runtime?
Okay, so you're trying to basically set up right now to give it a bunch of null pointers to confuse it.
Well, okay. So, useless trivia here. There's a
Mhm.
real life problem for trying to figure out the length of a coastline
Yeah.
because the smaller your measurement tool, the longer the coastline is to infinity.
Okay. Yeah. So you're trying to give it a
So,
larger math problem in order to be able to set that up.
yeah,
You're trying to give it
there,
an hard problem.
yeah, there's a lake in the park. You already said there was a lake in the park. And if we make it a priority for what the perimeter of the lake is, which is literally an unsolvable problem for something that's smart enough to keep using smaller measurement, it'll take up some time. I mean, it's not a divide by zero error, but it's going to give it some problems.
Okay. So so you're wanting to put yourself back there in order to be able to do that. Okay.
That's kind of my thought. I don't know. My question was, would that be helpful?
So and Gobo looks around himself. That very well could actually be a good distraction. So if you were to go ahead and do that, and we would have the other using that as a distraction while the other program is running. We could do this potentially without even a larger firefight.
I Okay. I look to my partner. So, we're gonna Scooby game this. We're gonna split up to cover more ground.
I splitting up, I guess, would help us avoid combat, as I said.
Well, I'm not gonna be too much use in the car for you in a firefight. It's not like we got a plasma gun. My pea shooter is not gonna do much, and there's only so much repair I can do while you're mid-flight.
All right, let's try this.
And you see Gobo second. Oh, you need plasma weaponry?
Sure.
That's in Sarkadian's memory, so that's not even an issue. And you see him just tap the ground twice, and two plasma rifles build themselves in front of you.
Oh, dear gods. Okay.
I don't suppose he remembers a Reaper morph.
The morphs are a little bit harder to do, so we actually
Oh,
usually
well,
can't.
it's worth a shot.
So remember, it's small moves to make sure that the program doesn't see you. This is why I'm like this, and I haven't mentioned my name because
That's
if he hears it, then that's probably a bad thing.
that's fine. Hmm.
All right. I will say that Gobo provides you with an algorithm route to be able to get you back to the pond,
Okay.
so you could measure for that, and also gives you the program loop for the drive. So in order to be able, so what this is going to do is you're attempting to crash the entire neural algorithm from this in order to let Gobo assume his security duties with that. So how this is going to go is a kind of race on there. Um, you can it'll start from the park,
Hmm.
and you will be able to you'll have at least 4 different laps that you're going to have to complete for the program to alter enough. So if you going by the pond, you're going to do your measurements there as to do
Hmm.
that. Each one that you successfully do will go ahead and give Hoff a bonus to the drive.
Okay.
So, and for this, since you're measuring along one, I will allow you to go ahead. I'll allow you to use physics on this one.
Okay.
That all right?
I can load in my saucer bot to help him with this.
Okay. Oh, so are you loading into it to be able to give the calculations?
Yeah,
As
we
I
can
was
load
loading the
the
yeah.
program into the saucer bot.
Oh, to measure along. Okay. Yep. And I'll say that'll
It's
give you.
actually it can fly around the perimeter a lot faster than we can.
Okay, so along that. So all right. So since you're setting up the calculations, then it's each turn for the rolls. I will go ahead and allow a. Let's see. I'll allow a 15% bonus to that.
Okay.
So all right. And but so this will be, but every time that you do that for the loops, that will give you a substantial bonus. So if you do that, that's great. You really don't want to crit fail this. So,
Understood.
all right. So, Gobo gives you ready. So, or is there any other preparations you want to make before making the program race?
Mm, I'm gonna strap on the plasma weapon in case things go poorly.
Okay. You can work with
I'll
that.
have it with me. My plasma.
All right. You'll go ahead and.
Also, actually, I want to ask Gobo one thing. If
Okay.
for some reason this vehicle ends up out of commission, but I'm not, can making that route on foot still do the effect?
Yes, it can, although it will increase the difficulty.
Okay. Well, it's not like in the case of, well, we're screwed anyway, so.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and start our own personal death race 2000. So you're at the park. I will say that the first loop you will be start your drive off to see if you can start the first loop, and then the circle around the pond will go through. So we'll just go back and forth on that to see how it is.
Okay.
So all right. So Hop, go ahead and make your first drive check.
78 out of 55. So, fail.
All right. So the first one goes through, and that's going to give a notice check. So that's part of that. If you fail that, it doesn't go through, and it gives the system a chance to notice you. So we'll see if I go through. All right. You are seen. As that happens, so you make your loop back around to the park, and you see that the sky has turned red.
Oh.
And
Start measuring, start measuring, start
yep,
measuring.
and you see
Yep.
that, yeah. So you hear that, and it almost sounds like there's a low growl. So you're gonna have one more turn to see if before you are unmolested by this. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting. So, all right, go ahead and make your physics roll.
Okay. Da, 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 da. I will spend a moxie to flip that.
Okay.
I'm down to 3 moxie. That is a success for this round.
Okay, so at a 27. All right. So that now gives you a plus 10 on your pilot aircraft. So that's the subsequent that goes through. All right.
31 out of 65. I pass.
All right. So you've completed your first official loop. That's successful. At that time, you both feel the ground shaking as it seems a
I do
little.
it from the air?
I'm sorry.
I said I feel it shaking through the air?
Well, at least just the vibrations because you're still in the hover car, so
True.
it'll still feel it around there. Um, and it's gonna be following you, Hop, since you're on there. But you look in the rear view projectors, and there is a Fenrir behind you,
What?
and it
Is that an
just.
Uber Eclipse space tech, or am I being chased by a giant wall?
Have you seen Well, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but Fenrir, Synthmorph, named for the monstrous wolf of Norse legend, the Fenrir is one of the most imposing combat morphs ever developed. It is essentially a wolf tank. It
It,
houses six different egos to operate it.
yeah, they couldn't do 5. Then it'd be too
Hey,
easy to make the Voltron jokes.
Yep. So, yeah, and you see it going. It's like taking full aim at you. So, you still have your bonuses. So go ahead. It's going to make it's going to make you have a chance to dodge out of your way. But it's going to try to fire at you. And
this is with my aircraft.
yep, this will be aircraft. So it's going to be firing a heat green at you first round.
37 out of 65.
All right, you're lucky. He made the one, but your dodge was a lot closer, so you barely just misses you.
Over attack.
Oh,
All right.
Shit.
All right. So you've gone ahead and made that one. So so the dodge. So physics roll. You can go ahead and make it again to give another bonus.
yeah, I got a 38, which is a success, and he's got a Fenrir on his butt, so I'm going to spend a Moxie to upgrade that to a crit.
All right. So
I'm down to 2 Moxie.
all right. Now that actually gives you double the bonus. So you have a plus 30 to this now. So
That's pretty damn good.
all right. Yep. So go ahead and make your drive roll again to see if you can make the circuit again.
19 out of 75, so yeah.
All right.
No, wait, 85. It's plus 30, so yeah.
All right, second circuit is completed. As you pass by the line, you see that the Fenrir looks like it stumbles, and everything around you turns into slight wireframe. It doesn't look as pristine in the city anymore. It just seems to be glowing right now, and the sky goes from its red to a more like a dark crimson as things are starting to fade out. You both hear Gobo, who seems to have tapped into your comm, saying, "Oh, we're almost there. I can feel myself being able to actually pull away from him. So just 2 more. We almost got it." So, all right. But the Fenrir is going to take another shot at you.
Dear gods.
Okay. I'll do my dodge flight.
All right, you will get that one turn. 3.
Oh,
All right, that's not going to go soon because they got 20.
Moxie to make that 30.
30. Okay. So, all right, you are down to 2 Moxie, right?
So I'm down to 1.
You're down to 1 Moxie. Okay, so
yeah.
you barely scrape by again, but skin your teeth, but it's gonna go through. So, all right. Back to the pond. Go ahead and make your roll.
35.
35. All right. So the 30 is still maintained for the next round. So go ahead and make your drive check.
All right. That
I think that's still a success for you. Yeah.
Yep, it is. 80
All right.
out of 85.
80 out of 85. All right, good. So you make it through. As you make this last circuit, you're almost on the very last one. Gobo is just frantically telling you to keep going. You're almost there. And as you're coming back from that, Hoff, you actually look behind you. You see that surprisingly enough, and kind of frighteningly enough, there is a group of the citizens of the neural network of Portland that are racing almost as fast as you are behind you in different lockstep, and they're not running. It's just that they're walking as fast as the program is sped up along with the algorithm.
This is going to look like that Rick and Morty episode where they're just glitching through things.
Very much so. So, all right. And as they're doing through, that's actually helping you because they're overrunning the Fenrir. You can hear just almost a gargled voice outside of it, just screaming "no," and it as different beings are flooding over it, and it's going to try to take one more shot at you, but it's at a pretty low base now because of its penalties. So, let's see if you got it. All right. Nope. It misses because of all of the people going through. So, you have your last one. This is, you don't have to worry about that. You still have the 30 for it, so the physics is there. So go ahead and make your roll and see what happens.
7 out of 85.
85 on the dot.
No, 7 out of 85.
You got
So 7.
All right. So you make the last roll. As you cross the pond, it it feels like a sonic boom has gone off, but no sound is from it. You go screeching to a halt as you see the entire world go into wireframe, yourself included. So, and as you look up, the Fenrir stands up and it's just wobbling. But on the opposite side, you see what appears to be a large mechanoid spider that is just walking into frame.
So, did anyone hire a Cyrock for this?
So, looking at it, it's talking in two voices. So it's one of the softer one you heard, but the other one is like a very deep feminine voice, and it looks towards the wolf. Like, this is the last time that I give you any leeway. I integrate you to allow you to experience, despite the fact that you betray over and over again and become something worse. You will be deleted this time. And the Fenrir tries to scream before the spider jumps on it and completely destroys it, just ripping it from vector wireframed limb by limb.
I think
And
we just got involved in a family spat.
so, slightly in this
maybe.
case. So, but that's about the time because the light from it just overwhelms you and you both pass out. So, all right, that's all you see for a little bit, and then both of you wake up. It appears that you are in a receiving facility. So, you look both of each other. You're both in your original morphs. You're feeling around, doesn't go through. Things feel normal.
Ryu, what time is it?
So, it appears to be. Let's see. It appears to be 3 a.m. local time. The last time your ego's clock data was updated appeared to be a month ago.
Okay.
Is that accurate for this distance of forecasting?
I'm sorry?
If it was at this distance of forecasting, how much time would have passed if it was normal?
You can't really determine how much might be going on the other side from it. But like I said, the only time they give you log from since your egos apparently got here where they left it was about a month. So if you have any other point of frame of reference, it's like from the gate, it'll have to be gone through other means. So, but so you're not certain at this moment. But it's about that time you hear a familiar voice pop up through the intercom. Oh, good, you're finally awake. So, and there's a screen that's turning on behind you.
Okay. Who's on the screen?
You see an icon of a fairly squat version of the that's like the spider mech drone that you just saw, or the morph, uh, and who seems to be waving at you. Oh no, good. I was worried that you had not fully reintegrated, or you might have residual aspects from the neural network programming, but it seems like you're doing okay.
Oh.
Oh boy.
So I'm happy to let you know that it looks like all traces of Sarcadian have been completely eradicated.
And we're not X threats?
Well, I've integrated the current morphs that you had in there into the bodies that the Theogenesis people left back on this planet. Uh, I don't see anything else that would alter that information, but I can't know. So,
I'm really covered. I have backup insurance. You?
all right, sorry, can you repeat that? You're breaking up again.
Sorry, I was looking over to Ken. Ken, I have backup insurance. You?
Well, yeah, but our backup insurance is why we're here, my friend.
So I do have the gate active, and I can let you know that if you decide to use it, it will be deactivated and destroyed once you're through it. We won't risk another use of this area, but I can send you anywhere else you want to go.
Look, do you have use for us, or are we just too small to be of any merit to you?
Well, we can always use the company
Yeah.
if you wish it, but it would be harsher travels, and if you don't survive, it would probably mean reintegration. But
I,
if but in this case, it would be you would be a choice. It would not be forced to it, and you would be
it,
part of the whole program.
look, I don't even know your name at this point. Well, all right, if you want to get sent back, that's fine. But there's a copy of me on the other side who hasn't had to deal with any of this
That's also
and
good.
isn't a potential X threat. So
Well-
I'm willing to let my clone, or fork, or whatever you want to call it, live their happy little life. And we made choices. Like, I made a choice for you, my friend, and I'm sorry, but we made a deal with this thing in order to stop the bigger threat. So,
Okay.
so you say we're going to explore the stars? Works for me.
That's at least what this version of myself wants to do.
Fine. If you want company for the trip, as long as I stay sane, you'll have it. I have nothing to go home to because I'm not going to risk bringing anything back.
So,
Agreed. I'm not going to risk this out.
oh, that's very good to know. So, as you asked my name, I am a smaller, I am a more the smaller, more well used portion of my personality known as Cyrock, but we are known as Augustine.
Oh, all right. Well,
All right, and with your choice made, you actually do see a door open and see that it goes out to a larger bay where Cyrock / Augustine leads you out to another ship, and you actually do see that it is in a very large Fenrir morph.
just before I walk through the door, I look back at my partner. I'm like, look, this is the call I'm making. You have to make your own call.
No, I don't want to bring an extra back either.
Okay. Don't make me force you into this. I made the call to work with the thing. I'm sorry that you felt like you didn't have a choice. I don't want you to feel like you don't have a choice here.
Oh, I fully understand. I have a choice.
Okay, I walk through the door.
Okay, so, all right, and for that, Ken, are you going through as well?
Well, since I don't know where there's a plasma cannon to shoot my stack out, I guess I am.
Okay, so, all right, so you both join in there,
Yeah,
and
about turning this, it feels like, yeah, delete this now. Bye.
all right, but yeah, that will take there, and that actually ends the scenario of the binary heart. So, questions, comments, suggestions?
It was It was pretty interesting. It's a bit hitting our head against the wall early on since none of us were tech.
No, that's fine. I kind of understand that too, unfortunately. And this was actually made for more for a four-person one because this was actually set up for a larger amount of arguing than I was anticipating. So the baseline story is that this actually is the last part of the Starcadian trilogy that was made. If you listen to the first one, he was a proxy that tried to use a device that essentially uh, utilized a disseminated portion of Augustine's ego. And later on, one of his forks ended up becoming an X-threat where it was able to literally quantum entangle with his other one, so it could literally know where they were and coordinate in a way that we aren't. So, but you found the last portion of it where this particular ego had one last portion of Augustine that he had hidden somewhere that he had managed to fork off and was trying to integrate with it into becoming a Titan. So, with everybody, when you were there, the only way he was doing it was because it was so big and he didn't have the proper resources available. He was kidnapping clones and then using them as an impromptu neural network to basically boost himself up to a seed AI.
Hmm.
Not
And
the worst idea. I'm seeing people try lamer tactics to bootstrap up.
yep, so that's kind of the whole thing that he was doing. And it was his last ditch effort with what he had in there. So, so it was basically the point was that once you got in there, you were captured and just integrated in as part of the program. So, and then given the options, once you eventually were introduced to the Cyrock of this, and I tried to keep it a little quieter to varying success. Um, but he would eventually give you the choice, and you could have either gone with which would have been the integrate, release, or destroy options. So working from it, so and that's why so hopefully would have more than two usually in the future because then that would allow the debate and argument. So
Yeah, it's a really good scenario. Most of the scenario is created by the firewall agents having different ideas of how to deal with the problem.
yeah, and that's at least giving you guys the different amounts of options because there is a base work to the system. It's just that figuring out the neural network, how you can alter it, and then getting in contact with Cyrock. So.
And how terrible of an idea would it have been to call myself?
It would have been very confusing, and that probably would have called Scarcadian's attention to you very quickly. So, because at that point you're immediately breaking the program, and he would see something that was up. So, at that point, it would have turned far more combative. So, all right, but yeah, that's all for this one. So, but again, thank you guys so much for playing. So,
No
and
problem. Thanks for running it.
oh, I was glad to.
Oh yeah.
Everybody, thank you also for listening. Make sure to listen to the podcast for RPPR and our Patreon games as well. And we will see you next time.